Hello, everyone, again, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Kate, and I will be your host for today. First, I would like to express my gratitude for all of you joining us here because we have an amazing session planned with two incredible speakers who will walk you through how to start your path in the USA with the help of Hospitality Academy. Today, we will cover everything from preparing for your embassy interview, presenting yourself confidently, and also tell you a bit more about how our programs work. And as mentioned before, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat so we can cover them later and so that we just move smoothly along with the presentation. Now, I would like to introduce our guest speakers. So today we're here with Carlos Piñon, who is an advisor at Hospitality Academy, and he has helped hundreds of students begin their education and professional journey in the United States. And he will be walking us through of who we are, how our programs work, and all of the details of the F1 visa process. Also, today we have Laura Mate, is a former U.S. Embassy visa assistant, and she has worked closely with visa applicants. So she will bring an insider perspective on what visa officers are looking for and how to avoid the most common mistakes that lead to visa rejections. Thank you so much, both of you, for being here. So, Carlos, let's start with you. Can you tell us more about Hospitality Academy, also how we help students take their first step towards studying and working in the United States?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for introduction, Kate. Hospitality Academy offers fully accredited programs in the United States. We combine online classes and on-campus classes to provide what is right now the most common way of learning after COVID hit, where you have the flexibility to work and study at the same time. A part of that, we are coaching you towards the recruitment process to assure or guarantee a job offer in the United States. And a part of that, we will also be able to support you with a career path and also payment plan options that will allow you to pay while you are studying and earning a salary during your studies.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. So I'll take over from here. I have prepared a little presentation for you to talk about your embassy appointment. I decided to divide it into two parts. The first one is going to be about what happens before your embassy appointment, and then I will talk to you about what to do and what not to do during your appointment. Okay, this is regardless of your circumstances. So this is very general and applies to everyone, okay? So before your embassy appointment, make sure that you take full advantage of what is offered to you. So whenever they offer to practice for your embassy interview, take advantage of that. Don't miss out on this opportunity, okay? Based on my experience, the more you practice, the higher chance you have to get the visa. So it doesn't matter how nervous you are to go for a practice session. It's important that you take advantage of it, okay? And then to talk to you about some practicality, make sure that you look up the address of the embassy or the consulate before you go there, because maybe it's further away than you thought, or maybe the connection, the public transport connection, is not what you thought it would be. So please plan ahead and make sure that you arrive early. So for example, if your embassy appointment is at 8 o'clock in the morning, plan to be there at 7:30. So don't plan with 8 o'clock, okay? And as I said before, the key to attend your embassy interview with confidence is to practice, okay? But apart from practicing, you need to be also very organized with all your documents. So prepare a folder with your documents and use little tags on the side. Why is that? Because the officer will be asking questions from you, and you will be nervous. I promise you that. It's normal, it's human nature. But when you have an organized folder with little tags and you need to quickly find a document, it's much easier to just have a glance at the titles that you name your documents with, and then just quickly go there and take it for the officer. Okay, so being prepared and organized is key. Don't leave preparation for the last day, because I always have these examples when somebody realizes on Sunday evening that they don't have a specific document, and then they panic. There is nobody to reach out to on a Sunday evening, for example, and then you don't know what to do on Monday morning at your appointment. So please do not leave your preparation for the last moment. Okay, it's important. And just to be on the safe side, have photocopies of your original document. So have photocopies of your passport, of your education document, or whatever else you have to bring for your appointment, okay? And now let's talk about what happens during your appointment. So going to your appointment with a positive attitude is really important, because you're a young professional, you're going there with a purpose, and the officer will feel whether you are there with a positive or negative attitude. Okay, don't go there thinking to yourself, oh, I just saw a person in front of me being refused the visa, so I'm going to be refused now. No, it doesn't work like this. Everyone's circumstances are different, so you're just gonna think about yourself with a positive attitude. Dress professionally, okay? You're not going to a wedding, so don't go crazy, but dress up, business casual. Speak clearly to the officer, don't mumble, and don't be shy. You need to speak up, because you need to present that you are a young professional, you're sure about your plans, you know what you're doing, and so you can confidently present it to the officer. If you don't understand something, don't be shy to ask the officer to repeat, okay? Most of our first language is not English, and the officer knows that. There's no need to hide this, okay? So if you don't understand something, just ask the officer to repeat it. I'd rather ask you, the officer, to repeat it than not understanding the question, and then your answer is something that's not relevant, okay? We don't want that. And then when you hear the question of the officer, take one breath, think about your answer, and then present it to the officer, okay? And also, of course, it's normal that sometimes you're gonna look at your documents, because maybe you need to give it to the officer, but in general, keep your head up, okay? And then there are some more points. So you're gonna be talking to the officer. These are human beings, as you are. So try to make a human connection. Try not to be robotic about what you have to share with the officer. So, you try to find the selling point, have a connection with the officer, and it's a little bit strange to say, but have fun during your interview. You need to help the officer to approve your visa, because imagine the side of the officer. The officer met you 30 seconds ago, doesn't know anything about you, is looking at your profile. So it's really important that you help the officer to make a decision to approve your visa. How do you do that? Answering just yes or no to questions, I generally don't recommend that, because you can do much better than that, okay? So just saying a random question. Are you studying at the moment? Yes. That's not really helping you. Are you studying at the moment? Yes, officer, I'm doing this at this school, and my expected graduation is this. I have the documents here with me, officer. Would you like to see them? So there's like a really big difference between, just staying quiet and saying yes or no, and actually presenting your case. And then avoid too much caffeine. Yes, you can have a coffee in the morning, but stay calm, okay? You're gonna be nervous a little bit. That's normal. But if you drink too much caffeine, you're just going to be a little bit over the limit, okay? And then you maybe cannot concentrate. So keep that in mind when you go to your interview, okay? One thing, I promise you that when you go to the visa window to the officer, 90% of the time the officer will be looking at the computer screen or maybe at some documents, but most probably not going to be looking at you in your eyes. Okay, that's normal. It's not because the officer is not interested in what you want to say. It's not because you said something wrong. It's not because you talk too much. It's simply because they are looking at your profile on the computer and they might be looking at documents. Okay, you continue talking as if the officer was looking at you and you're looking at the officer. It doesn't matter what mood the officer is in. It doesn't matter whether the officer had coffee in the morning or not. None of this matters. You present your case regardless of where the officer looks. Okay. And I know that it can be a little bit nerve-wracking, but try to think about it more as an opportunity rather than an exam. Okay. And at the end of the day, you know that nothing really bad can happen to you on that day. Okay. So these are just normal people trying to find out why you want to travel and try to find out more about your profile. And you just need to try your best to be presenting that. But the key to that is to be prepared. And I cannot emphasize this enough because you really need to take the full advantage of every tool that is provided to you to go there prepared and practice. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Laura. I'm pretty sure that now made us feel way more confident about how to approach the whole process of the visa interview. So, for now, let's bring Carlos back to walk us through the F1 visa itself, how it works, all the different programs that we have, and yeah, we can we can start.
Thank you, Kate. Yeah, let's talk about the F1 visa. That is the visa that we are going to be hosting with our programs. What is an F1 visa? It's a non-immigrant visa that allows you to study and pursue your studies in the United States. Normally it's offered for international candidates. In regards to some highlights of the visa, first point is that the university that you are going to be studying your program should be fully accredited by the United States government. That means that the United States government has authorized them to extend all the necessary forms or documentation to request the F1 visa. And then a second point that I also consider very important is that you need to be fully enrolled in the program and also maintain your student status. Why I'm highlighting this point? Because it's important for you to know that you need to keep yourself enrolled in all of these terms or intakes or semesters during your studies with the minimum amount of courses that you need to enroll. And also you cannot fail your courses or drop down your grades. You need to maintain a certain level of academic records to maintain your status. Just as a friendly reminder, Hospitality Academy will make sure that you are fully enrolled in the university and that also you go through the application process for each university and location. Another point of this F1 visa, well, we will be providing assistance, as I was mentioning, in the admission and enrollment process. You will also need to provide financial evidence to the United States authorities, making sure that you show an X amount of money that is required on your I-20 form that is going to be assuring them that you have sufficient amount of money for the expenses of the total program cost. And then you need to show during this F1 visa application their intent to return to your home country. All right. So we always recommend to have some home type documents that allow you to express this intention and allow you to show to the embassy officer that you are willing to study, gain your education and work experience in the United States and go back to put this on practice. The requirements should vary depending on each program and location. Just keep that in mind because that will be we will go through that details in case that you are interested in one location or the other. As Lara was doing on her presentation, I would like to go through some checklists of the visa application for the F1 in this case. It's important to have a valid password for more than 6 months over the expiration date of this or of your passport. You need to, of course, request a DS-160. That is also the embassy appointment. That for the F1 visa will cost you $185. You need to take some photos, and you need to show during the embassy appointment the I-20 form that, as I was mentioning, is the financial evidence that you have already shown to the university and they have extended to this form. Then a part of this, you also need to support this application with more documentation, such as the acceptance letter, your bachelor degree diploma or high school diploma with your transcripts as well. And then you also need to pay the service fee. That for the F1 visa is $350. You have to have with you the receipt. And then also bring with you any support letter or the same bank statement that you showed to request the I-20 form. Then in regards to the programs that we offer, I would like to go through them, the details and the highlights of this program. We offer 2 programs in the United States. A postgraduate level program that is a Master of Business and Administration with a Hospitality Management certification, and a Bachelor in Business and Administration with a Hospitality Management certification that is an undergraduate level program. Let's look into the programs now. For the Master, we are looking into a program that requires attendance to class that varies between 11 and 4 days on campus. And then we are talking about a program that is fully recognized by the United States authorities. That means that it also be recognized abroad. It requires a greater GPA of 2.0. The duration of the program should look into 2 to 3 years duration program, depending on the CPT and OPT. And then the good thing about this master program is that will allow you to work from day 1 of classes under the CPT, and then will allow you to work upon graduation under OPT, that it will be extended for 1 more year. The undergraduate level, the Bachelor in Business and Administration, is an hybrid learning modality as well. It requires you to attend weekly basis to the university. It's required to show a high school diploma or any equivalent internationally, a proof of your level of English. The program duration is around 3.54 years duration program, I would say. And here it's slightly changed the work permit authorization. It will come over the completion of the first academic year. And upon graduation, you are still allowed to request an OPT extension to work for 1 more year upon graduation, as I was mentioning. Next slide. We offer 5 different locations around the United States. We try to have, I would say, locations distributed in the different areas of the US. We have Miami, Florida in the south, Phoenix, Arizona, that is borderline with Mexico, and also right next to California, Orange County, that is in California, in between Anaheim and Los Angeles. Washington, D.C., the capital city of the United States in the West Coast, and then Detroit, Michigan, borderline with Canada in the north of the United States. We offer 4 different intakes throughout the year. Spring, that normally could go from January to March. Then summer, that normally is between May and July. Fall, that is between September, well, I would say August and September. And finally, winter time, that should go through October, January. All right. So depending on each scenario, each case, we should advise you on which is the nearest intake that you can apply for. Our partners, as I mentioned at the beginning, we will support you to secure a job offer in the United States. We partner with more than 250 properties in the United States, mainly the best luxury hotel brands, restaurant chains, Michelin star chefs, where we are going to be able to promote your profile, promote your CV to all of these properties. And then you are going to go through what is the regular hiring process of these properties. And since we have many options, I would say that we are going to be able to assure this opportunity for you. As the beginning of this presentation, we have mentioned, if anyone would like to have a one-on-one advisory call with me or one of my team members, feel free to reach out to us. There's the contact information there. And if you scan this QR code, you are going to be able to be redirected directly to the meeting schedule. So you can feel free to schedule a call with us anytime, any day. And thank you so much, Kate, for having us here. I will leave the floor for you.
Thank you so much to both of you for this presentation. It was really packed with very helpful information. Let me just quickly open the chat so I see if anybody has any questions. In the meantime, if you haven't already, you can feel free to ask anything. So, also, for anybody who has joined a bit late, do not worry, you will be able to get the recording of today's presentation to go over it again. And just as Carlos mentioned, feel free to book a call directly to get more personalized help from our team. And okay, I don't see any. I don't see. Okay, there is one question. Can we have the link to apply for the school in Spain?
Sure, absolutely. If you go into the website of Hospitality Academy, you should have the possibility to apply directly to the program that you are interested in. We are fully accredited here in Spain. We do offer for now diplomas that will allow you to come over Spain for 6-month internship program as well as studying the diploma. Feel free to request information in our website.
We have another question here. I'm a third-year college undergraduate in the Philippines. Am I eligible to take the bachelor's in business administration?
The answer is yes. If you are already on your third year, you can even think about transferring your credits towards the bachelor degree. Just for you don't lose this amount of credits that you have already taken in the Philippines, feel free to reach out to us and we will be happy to navigate through your situation and of course give you the best advice. But the answer is yes, you can be eligible for the bachelor's.
We have another question. I want to do the bachelor's in business, but I'm living in Jamaica.
All right. I mean, the programs that we offer in the United States are programs that require to hold a visa. So it doesn't matter where you're currently living, you are free to apply for an F1 visa and attend to these programs in the United States. So that being said, there is no restriction in terms of the nationality or the country that you're currently living. Feel free to, in this case, to also reach out to us for further details.
Another question we have. What will happen if my visa processing takes more time than expected and my college entry is in September?
All right, good question. So it's mandatory for you to be inside the United States before the starting day of classes. That is basically what is called intent to enroll to the university. So it's mandatory to hold an F1 visa, I would say at least 2 weeks prior of the starting day of classes. If that doesn't happen because the visa process has been delayed, I would recommend you to put yourself in contact with admissions department to see and navigate the possibility of changing your intake for a later intake.
Thank you. Okay, I can see here more questions. Uh, does the CPT rule change depending on the location of the work or university?
So CPT terms and conditions, what it says is that you need to be fully enrolled in the university. The job description needs to be aligned with your studies. There is a process that we need to follow and a guideline and the deadlines that we need to also follow. But in terms of location wise, there should be no restriction. You can study in one location, but live and work in another one. And also in regards to um, working hours, the working hours will depend on your decision if you would like to take 2 years full-time job, or if you would like to mix 11-month part-time job, 11-month full-time job and 13-month part-time job. So that should not vary.
On that same question, we have just a quick follow-up asking if the CPT rule change and also if the financial proof change depending on the location.
The financial evidence, it does change depending on the location. Yeah.
Okay, another question here. Where can we have more information about the program? So prices, duration, and so on.
Website, social media, and I would say for you to have more details, I will invite you to schedule a call with us.
Now, another question. Before we can proceed to admission process, school need to see that we are able to pay our tuition fee. So they need proof financial funds, right? So is it okay to submit bank certificate or need to be bank statement?
It needs to be bank statement where the university can see the entry and the outcome of the money. And as long as the bank statement is an official bank statement extended by the bank, it should be more than enough. You can show up to 4 different bank accounts, meaning that it could be supported by even 4 different persons, family members, friends, or relatives could support in the process as well.
Okay, perfect. Now, another question regarding the total cost of the program.
So the range, I would say we are into the range of 22,000 USD up to 36,000 USD, depending on each location.
Okay. Now we got another question from Alex here, who is asking, will I be accepted if I do not have any work experience in the hospitality industry?
So as long as you can prove in terms of your study background that you are eligible for the program of studies, there is no limitation towards the work experience. Then in regards to the work experience and the possibilities of being hired in hospitality industry, I do want to mention, Alex, that it's necessary to have at least 6 months of work experience to be a profile that should be attractive enough for the host companies or the properties we work with to have a potential to hire them. If you don't have any work experience for the moment of the starting of the program, we can still navigate through it, but it's going to be more complicated. All right. So I will advise you to start with your work experience now. The process takes time to be completed. For you to arrive in the United States, it might take you between, I would say, 3 to 7 months, more or less. So you still have enough of time if you are willing to proceed with these plans to gain work experience in hospitality.
Thank you. Now we have two more questions. The first one being, can someone with family apply for the school?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. There is dependent visas in the United States. For the F1, it's called F2 visa. It's a dependent visa. I will advise anyone that would like to apply with any dependent to secure the F1 visa first and then proceed with a dependent visa application.
Okay, amazing. Now, another question that we have is what kind of proofs mostly work in order to convince the visa officer that I will be returning home after the study? I think if Laura, you can answer that question.
Sure. So normally, let's start with the financial one. So Carlos already explained about the bank statement. So the officer needs to be happy with you not trying to stay there illegally, work illegally. For that, the officer needs to be happy that you're covered financially. Okay, so that's the reason for showing the money. Then, how else you are going to prove that you're going home? Sometimes maybe you happen to own something at home, so a property or a land, or maybe you pay some loan back. You can show these kind of documents. Also, maybe it's not a document that you can show, or it's more family related, but maybe your spouse stays at home or your children stay at home. Or I always try to find the sweet spot for the officer. So let's say, I'm just going to say something random. Let's say you're the only son, okay, and then you need to go back home because you need to support your family, and you need to take over the business of the family. Everybody has their own circumstances, and so we try to find the best way for you to make sure that that becomes your strength. Okay, but these are the main documents: bank statement, anything that you own back home, anything you're paying back, and family relationships.
Thank you so much, Laura. From what I see in the chat, we have just one last question from Memory, who is asking how much is the initial deposit we should pay before the visa application?
Great. So there's a couple of payments that you will have to do before the visa application. It will be the registration fee, that is 550 USD for any program, any location. And then depending on the location and the program that you select that you want to do or that you are eligible for, it varies between $3,000 and $5,000. Then the rest of the payments will be payable while you are studying in the United States. So that is also good because you are already in your new journey in the United States, and we will be extending you a payment plan that normally goes up to 20 different installments in a monthly basis.
Thank you so much, Carlos. From what I see in the chat, we don't have any more questions. However, I would always advise every single one of you, if you would like more information and also a more personalized responses to all of your questions, to book a call, because obviously each case is always very different. But we have come to the end of our webinar, and I would like again to thank you, Laura, and thank you, Carlos, for joining us here today. It was a pleasure of having you and also receiving so much helpful information. So thank you, everybody, for joining us here today, and see you again next time. Thank you.